Hello again. Today is a nice, cool December day, and it's a perfect day for soup. And my great niece, Anne Marie, who you've met before, is going to be coming up for lunch. And she is just recently out of college, and she is interested in how to cook easily and on a budget. So I thought I would make this very, very, very simple lentil soup that anybody can make with just very basic ingredients. It can be adapted in many different ways, but the way I'm going to do it is super basic, super simple, and definitely budget friendly. The ingredients for this soup are super simple. It's lentil soup, so you're going to need a package of lentils. You're going to need an onion. I'm going to use a potato. Very simple. I use 1 or 2 carrots, about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. And for spices, I'm going to use some oregano and some bay leaves, some cumin, and just salt and pepper. Now I am going to embellish mine a little bit because I have this leftover leek, just the top of the leek, and that's a wonderful aromatic. So I am going to chop that up and put it in with the onion to saute, but that's absolutely not necessary. Everything is all chopped up and ready to go. I forgot to mention that you will need some sort of oil. I'm going to use olive oil. And for a pound of lentils, you're going to need about 8 cups of water. So for this soup, as I said, it's a super, super basic soup. You can amp it up a little bit by using broth, but I wanted to make this a soup that anybody could make with just the most minimal ingredients and still have it taste great. Start by having a nice pan that can hold the soup and put it over medium-high heat. Start by just coating the bottom of the pan with some olive oil, a nice generous dose of olive oil. Let that heat up a bit. Now we're going to add the onions first, and we're going to saute those and stir them. And I'm going to let those saute for about, a minute or so. I like to keep it stirring. Next, I'm going to add the leeks. Again, the leeks are totally optional. I just happen to have the unused portion, the upper portion of the leek, and I don't like to waste things, and it gives a lovely flavor. We're going to add the garlic, and we're going to stir in the carrots. I'm going to stir this around, and we're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes. You might ask, why didn't I add celery? Because I didn't have any, but you could certainly add celery. It's a common enough ingredient, but it'll be fun without it. You'll know it's time to add the water or broth if you're using it, and the lentils once you begin to have the aromatic, the smell, the aroma released from these vegetables. At this point, I'm going to add some of my herbs. I'm going to use some ground cumin. I'm a big fan of cumin. I think it really amps up the flavor in any soup. I'm adding it in now, and I'm going to let it cook a bit, just a bit, to really get that in. Oh, it smells so good. Next, we're going to add the water in. This is 8 cups of water. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more water. I'm going to add 2 more cups. Making the heat up to high. And now I'm going to add lentils. I'm actually adding this entire bag full of lentils because I'm going to make a very thick soup. But you can make it thinner. And this soup is going to be for quite a number of people. So in go the lentils and also the potatoes. Now, this is a matter of choice, but I like to use every bit of nutrition in food. And so I actually do not peel my potatoes. You can peel them if you want to peel them, but most of the nutrition is out near the peeling. We're going to add some salt. Always start with less than you think you're going to want because you can't take salt away. And this is not a broth, so it doesn't have a lot of salt in it. This is about a teaspoon. I'm going to add a generous grinding of pepper. Flavor in, flavor out is my motto. I'm going to add a nice helping of oregano, about that much. And I'm going to add 2 bay leaves. 1, 2. The great thing about lentils is you don't have to soak them like other legumes, like other beans, and they cook quickly. So this soup can be ready in 20 to 30 minutes, which makes it possible to make it on a weeknight. So we're just going to give that another stir, and I'm going to bring it up to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it down to a simmer, cover it, and let it cook for approximately 25 minutes. So this soup is boiling away. You'll notice it might have some scum that comes up, and you don't have to get rid of that, but you can scoop it off if you like. I'm going to turn it down to a simmer and put the top on. All right, it's been about 20 minutes, and I am going to just see how this is doing. It looks fantastic. It is very, very thick, and you can certainly add more water to it if you want to. At this point, you have options. You can leave it as kind of a thick stew like this. I like to puree it a little bit. So couple of important things to do. You want to carefully take a fork and pull out the bay leaves because you don't want to accidentally eat a bay leaf. It's not a pleasant experience. I have one here. Put them aside. Here's the other one. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my immersion blender and I'm going to put it straight in the pot, and I'm going to puree some of this soup right in the pot. And also remove some of it and put it into a separate container, blend it in that, and put it back. But I don't like to wash dishes, so this is how I'm going to do it. Right. I'm not going to do this completely pureed, although you could. Okay, that's pretty good. You can puree this all the way and just make it a straight pureed soup. But I like to have some of the chunks floating around in there. And here you have a very nice soup. You can make this ahead of time and let it sit overnight. The soup always improves when you let it sit, or you can serve it right away. So that's all there is to it. I'm going to serve this just with some cornbread that I put in the oven and maybe a simple salad, and let that be a very, very, very nutritious lunch. Thanks so much for watching. Give this soup a try. Take care. Bye.